September 7th. That is the day when Nebraska dismantled Colorado 28-10 on a primetime stage. And most college football fans, myself included, assumes that Colorado was done for. And theoretically, we had every reason to believe so. The offense looked anemic. The offensive line was atrocious. And the defense was like Swiss cheese, essentially. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. However, fast forwards to the end of October, beginning of November, where we are now, Colorado is 5-1 since that game, and they've yet to score less than 28 points in any of their games since that Nebraska loss. Colorado is everyone's worst nightmare because the more they win, the more confidence they become. Colorado reminds me of Alabama last season, not from the standpoint of they can compete for a national championship, but from the standpoint of you ideally want to beat this team before it's too late. Let me explain. Colorado, at the beginning of September, after struggling with North Dakota State at home and then losing to Nebraska, and then I would arguably say struggling with Colorado State the week after, they pulled it off, but they looked kind of wonky in the process. Now, Colorado was a vulnerable football team. So it's up to teams like Baylor and UCF to beat them while they're down, while they're trying to find their rhythm, while they're a little bit clunky, while they don't have complete belief just yet. That's the time to beat a team like that when they're down, when they're kind of broken, when they're looking for answers, looking for their identity. UCF didn't do that. Baylor didn't do that. And Colorado got better and better and better with each consecutive win that they've been able to compile, just like Alabama did last year. You know, they lost to Texas week 2, just like Colorado did. And they had that weird wonky game at South Florida, and then they pulled it off with Ole Miss, and then pulled it off with A&M, pulled it off with Tennessee. And they just got more and more confident, got more moxie, got more confidence, got their mojo back. And now we're at the point Colorado's beating teams, and they're beating teams in convincing fashion. They've won these past 2 weeks with Cincinnati and Arizona. And it's starting to raise an eyebrow. This team is really beginning to get into rhythm. They're one of those teams, you want to beat them before it's too late, while they're still looking for answers, while they still don't have the identity. Beat them before they get their moxie. I have a gut feeling it's a little bit too late, because I watch this Colorado team now, and they have aura, and that's scary for the rest of the Big 12. Speaking of the Big 12, this is a conference that's wide open. You've got Iowa State and BYU contending for that top spot right now. You've got Kansas State up there too. And then you've got Colorado, 4th in conference standings. So it's a very fascinating setup right now. Talent, it's not everything, but it's something. You've got to have it. And in a conference like the Big 12, where there's no team that really differentiates themselves from a talent standpoint, Colorado positions themselves so that they are able to separate themselves from the competition because they have some generational talents on that team. Travis Hunter, you haven't seen anything like Travis Hunter since Charles Woodson. The way that he plays both sides of the ball, absolutely generational. Lethal receiver, lockdown corner. How often do you get that? Shedeur Sanders, remarkably talented quarterback. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, 2 of the most raw talents coming out of this year's college football draft class. Both those guys, I firmly believe, will be drafted in the first round come April 2025. And then you mix in guys like Jimmy Horn Jr., Omarion Miller, LeJontay Wester. This is a very talented Colorado Buffaloes football team, and I suggest you don't let them get hot. And think about this as well. Deion Sanders, even though it feels like he's been in this position forever, this is only his second season as a Power 4 head coach. And so the more wins Colorado is able to compile, the more of a footing Deion Sanders is going to gain as a Power 4 head coach. And the more confidence he becomes, the more assured he becomes as a Power 4 head coach, more of a well-oiled machine Colorado is going to become as a football team. So that's a very scary thought for their opponents. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, there's no actual way that Colorado can make it to the Big 12 championship. Is there? Well, there is. Let me explain. While Colorado sits at 4th in the Big 12 for overall record, they are tied for 3rd with Kansas State right now at 4-1 as far as Big 12 conference standings go. Above those two teams are Iowa State and BYU. So yes, Colorado is very much in the mix. And if they can continue on the same path in November that they've been on in October, if they can remain red hot, Colorado has a realistic chance at making the Big 12 championship in Arlington. So let's take a look at what Colorado will be going up against in November. They've got a bye week this coming weekend, and then they've got Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. At least 2 of those games, when you were assessing Colorado's schedule like I was over the summer, you'd say at least 2 of those games are L's. Now, assessing the state of Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State, I think all 4 of those games are very winnable for Colorado. I can see them pulling all those games off. And Vegas expresses the same sentiment that I do. As far as Big 12 odds go, right now FanDuel has Colorado at 4th in odds to make it to the Big 12 championship. They're at plus 700. So it's a very realistic possibility. Again, don't let this team get hot. I think it's already too late. This November schedule is very conducive to Colorado remaining hot and making it at least very interesting at the end. As far as securing a berth in the Big 12 championship goes, Colorado has made significant progress from last season to this season. I think a lot of that has to do with transitioning from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. But I think a lot of it has to do with a shift in mindset as well. At 6-2, Colorado has already surpassed their win total from last season, and they're eligible for a bowl game. But they want more than that. They want a spot in the Big 12 championship. They want to win it, and they want to secure a spot in the college football playoff. This team has aura, and that is now the standard. So it'll be very interesting to see what unfolds for Colorado in these next couple weeks. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.